Marshall skips away. Marshall skips away. Marshall's still going. Marshall's got Richards coming up outside. Now inside.
Arsenal have gone through an entire league campaign without losing.
Bennett and the Dragons win the grand final.
Whips that one away, and Kane Williamson and his team now World Test champions.
Welcome back to another episode of the TGIF podcast. Thank God it's footy. Wasn't a happy trip out to Mount Smart Go Media, whatever the fuck it's called.
It was not a happy trip
on Friday night, but
Go Media.
The weather held out. There were a couple of positives on the night, I suppose, but
we were dry. It didn't rain on us, and we got a little bit of air time. Which is probably the big positive to come out of the night. Get a little bit of screen time. Never been on the screen at a live sports game before, and I'm assuming the beanie might have been what struck him to get me on screen, but had me standing there for about a minute before I was on there. But got a good maybe 15-20 seconds of air time, which is pretty good. You break that down into a percentage. It's got to be it's a small chunk, but it's still a chunk.
Yeah,
of the game.
Out of the 2 hours that they put on, you're looking at what's that? What did you say? 20 seconds.
20
seconds.
seconds.
A minute. What? 1/360th of the total airtime, so about 0.2 something percent.
Yeah, not too bad.
Yeah, it's better than nothing.
It's a decent.
It's better than a flat cold zero. That's
exactly.
For sure.
It's a decent whack up there on the screen. So, but apart from that, not really too many positives. I didn't end up wasting any money on overpriced food. That's always good. Saw an old bloke there who didn't yarn to on the night, but ended up seeing him the next day.
Good shout out to him. Looked a lot like Sheensy.
Did look a little bit like Sheensy, kind of mixed with an old schoolmate cartoon. His dad, kind of like a combination of those two. So ended up seeing him down in Devonport with his mate, who was a Roosters fan, and they're here from Canberra, so had a little yarn to him and recognised me from being up on the screen there with the dreads. Wasn't wearing the dreads the following day.
Poor commitment, really.
Dread free come Saturday, but all in all, probably like I want to say like a 2 out of 10 experience. Taking everything into consideration, I probably had an enjoyment rating of about somewhere around 19-20%.
Yeah, to be fair, there's probably always a huge swing based on that Tigers result. Unfortunately weren't able to pick up the dub on enemy territory, but hey, 2 out of 10. Again, better than a cold hard zero.
It could have been worse, exactly.
I suppose we take it in our stride and hope for bigger and better things for the Tigers on future trips over these shores.
Exactly. I'll be off to Mount Smart again there this Friday. For a little bit of Warriors Eels action, and gonna be up the wires, I think, unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't think too many people, especially people that know you well, know your affiliation.
It's just
section level.
It's the way it has to go. We don't want to get a hat trick of spoons.
You hate getting the spoon more than you hate the wires.
It will be a hat trick. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
probably
shit.
Fair. Especially 3 times in a row, that amplifies it. 3 times getting the spoon versus how much I hate the wires. But 3 16ths in a row, take it. No dramas of that, So 16s, that's my number. I will be up the wires. Unfortunately, again, probably looking at like a 2 out of 10 this Friday. We'll probably end up going out there and seeing Eels pull off maybe a 6-4 win, and it's going to be pissing down with rain, like one of those types of games, and everything else is poor, and good that the Warriors don't get a win, but unfortunate there for the old Tigres possibly after losing 30-0 the night before to the Cowboys. But we are back at Leichhardt this week. Last time we played the Cowboys at Leichhardt, I think, was that big demolition job there last year. So fingers crossed we can have a slight swing in our fortunes there for this weekend.
Yeah, don't know if I can see anything like that happening, but you never know. You probably wouldn't have picked it last time it happened either. So yeah, as we always say, stranger things have happened. So I guess we wait out for Thursday night there, but before we get into that one in a bit more detail, we'll run you through our team of the week for your round 21 action.
Definitely no 2 out of 10s and you're listening.
No, you're definitely looking at a minimum 7, 8 out of 10
we don't really
yourself on the side.
We don't really accept a 2 out of 10 performance. I don't think for team of the week consideration. I think possibly maybe like you may get the odd week where you haven't put in a 6.5. Something like that. If it's a poor week, maybe on one of those weeks,
those 5 gamers,
maybe.
Maybe it's one of those weekends where you see every game with the rain and the halves don't really get up to much.
Yeah, I'm thinking, there's that halves. Halves is sometimes that position where we do struggle. You'd maybe be lucky to sneak in there as a 6, but I highly, highly doubt it. I'd say 6.5, probably the lowest. If you want to get finicky, I don't really think we get finicky. I don't really think we go past the 6.5, sort of 7. The 50, half, the 50%, half a score.
We don't really get into that sort of percentile.
I don't.
Talking about our match rankings, definitely like to keep it a bit more round.
6.5.
Certainly steering well clear of 2DP.
We're not after
2DPs off.
2DP in a ranking.
It's way too analytical.
That's possibly more looking at like a statistics based thing. There's a lot of vibe that comes into a team of the week
100%
selection, I think. I guess without further ado, Connor Tracy is your man there to take the fullback role there. Pretty instrumental in that one there for the Doggies.
Yeah, and like you said, going off vibe totally here, but Tracy definitely stuffing the stat sheet, as they say. Picking up a hat-trick along with a couple of try assists as well, I believe, in there. So, hell of a game for the bloke that, no one really knew where he would fit in this Dog's side, but he's certainly found his home at fullback.
Yeah, he's not playing too poorly, is he?
Well, yeah. Heard old mate Guru say no one's really been talking about Stephen Crichton moving to fullback for a while, which is very true because, Connor Tracy, hell of a performance on the weekend to round out what's been a great run of form for him. And then Willie Warbrick as well, joining him in that back 3 with Kyle Felt on the wings.
A few more tries there in that pairing. Kyle Felt also done himself over there for a hat-trick, I believe. So there's plenty of firepower there in that back 3. Jacob Carraz and Philip Sami are your 2 centres there to join them.
Yep, Jacob Carraz leading the NRL in metres gained this year, so a huge year for the young centre, and Philip Sami solid as always for the Titans there as they picked up a shock win, what many are saying over the Dolphins. So I guess in the halves it leads us into JC, Jaden Campbell, taking that 6 jumper again. Had himself as well quite a nice run of form since he's been moved into his new position.
Yep, he has looked good there, him and 4 in there together. So it's been tasty. Nathan Cleary though,
another man who
his pairing partner. In this one, he's come back. What's that? 2 games back now, and he's definitely back. He's here to play. Looking good. I believe something, I know it's not something that you can go for, but 112 fantasy points, I believe, which is the old triple figure you don't really see very often.
112 fantasy points. I believe it was 28 points scored in the game due to him also dotting down for a hat trick to be very instrumental in tearing apart my Dragons on Sunday afternoon. So ominous signs for the rest of the comp. If you've got a bloke like that coming in ready to rip and tear at the level that he showed on Sunday, very scary signs for anyone that is eyeing up lifting that premiership trophy at the end of the year. It's going to be a major obstacle to get through that Penrith side.
He's definitely back, that's for sure. Then you've got your customary triple barrel. Double barrel, apologies there. AFB and Fanua Blake. Pretty stock standard there from him up against my Tigers. The only really period of the game that we had much of the ball and when we scored our couple of tries was when he was off the field. So kind of showed that how instrumental he is there for the Warriors, and had himself another pretty decent game there on the weekend.
Yep, huge game, crossing over for yet another meaty. So probably edging on one of the highest scoring front row seasons we've ever seen in the NRL.
He'll end up being the highest scoring front row.
Surely based off vibe. Surely there's got to be some other weapon over the years. You think of blokes like I don't know, Dave Taylor.
We've got a few. I'm going to have a little look.
Most tries from a prop. Most tries from a prop season.
Mo Fotuaika, your other prop there. I don't know if he'd be involved in your most tries from a prop in the NRL. No, definitely not most tries, but getting involved in your more stock standard front row work. Lots of runs, lots of tackles. That's outstanding out for the Titans there. That is just your 100 try scorers. The NRL's greatest try scoring forwards.
Well, you got Beaver, obviously.
That's an article I can't access here, only in Australia.
Beaver's like a back rower / centre almost. He's not.
Telstra Premiership.
Not a front rower.
I can't do it like that. NRL Dream 13 based on top try scorers in each position from 2020. So 48 tries is one of your props, no longer plays, and 47 tries is your other prop, still playing.
Not Woods.
Not Aaron Woods, nah.
Bromwich?
Nah. Papali is you're still playing one. He had 47 at the time of publishing. And
Josh Papali. Yeah, but I suppose he was a back rower early in his career.
Yep, and then Willie Mason.
Big Willie, but again also played a bit of back row. No, shout out to him.
AFB's a prop.
AFB, definitely out of Big Willie. You're chucking him front row more times than you're chucking him back row, and certainly Big Papa these days. You wouldn't be throwing him out trying to get too much lateral movement out of the bloke, but his teammate Tommy Starling slots into the number 9 jumper there. Solid outing for the Raiders as they, another surprise sort of victory there. Certainly the nature of the victory, how comfortable it was for Canberra up against Souths.
It was quite an easy victory there in the end. It was a bit of a, no Latrell. So obviously plays a big part. There's been plenty of talk about that. Starling had himself a really good game. Jacob Preston and Jeremiah Nana, your 2 second rowers there. Jacob Preston, he's having himself a really good season again. He had another really good game there in that Doggies win on the weekend. Spent a bit of time on the sidelines with an injury, but seems to have
come back into that dog side just at the right time to help push them for that top 4 run, which is good. And similar for Nanai, he's come into some really good form off the back of that Origin series. Don't know whether it's sort of a bit of a monkey off the back type situation for a few of those Queenslanders, but it seems to be responding really well. Him and Helam Lukey have been tearing it up for the Cowboys in the back row in the last few weeks.
Yeah, they've both been playing pretty well, and they've started to find a little bit more form the Cowboys there, and try and push on for that spot in the 8. Isaiah Yeo is your man who rounds out your team there. Definitely a repeat offender there in the TGIF team of the week. When Cleary's playing well, he's usually playing pretty well as well. So Cleary makes the team, and Yeo has come in to join him.
Yeah, pretty stock standard, Mr. Dependable for Penrith there. But yeah, was particularly good on Sunday afternoon to my dismay, I suppose you'd say, helping Nathan tear apart the Dragons. But he rounds out the team. As we always say, very tasty looking team, very difficult to be able to get all of that in under the cap. Although, I don't know, you got a few youngies in there, a few sort of... you take them on their contracts they're currently on.
I still think you'd struggle.
You might be alright, but you're looking at Nathan Cleary taking up a huge chunk of that straight away, with some big name forwards.
Fanoa Blake, Fotuoka, and Nano, that'll be getting a bit of moolah in there as well. So, it's a conundrum. You'd have to get someone out to crunch the numbers, and I suppose someone who's studied accounting would be good to look into that. But can't really be fucked at the moment. So I'll just do it by vibe as we're going this week, and say probably have some troubles. As usual. No doubt about that. The old T grades getting to kick off the round again doesn't happen very often. We've gone from a Friday night to a Thursday night kickoff up against the Cowboys back at Leichhardt. I mean, there's only good things when you're coming home to a stadium like that, but as we said, not a happy trip out Friday night. Not the best of performances at all from the Tigers. Obviously, as I said before, that little period there where AFB was off the field, we played all right. But apart from that, it was probably about 60 to 65 minutes of some pretty poor footy.
Yeah, look, it wasn't the best from the Tigers. Also, on the other hand, the Warriors were fairly solid and didn't offer too many opportunities. While they didn't light things up,
they were good defensively, but I don't think they were the best with ball in hand.
Yeah, but I don't seem to remember the Warriors making too many errors, like gifting you guys too much good field position. I mean, there's certainly a few penalties coming out of your end, but
not too many errors. More just, I don't think, like that spark that you're kind of used to seeing the Warriors when they're going in and killing a team.
I sort of had this feeling watching the game. It was like, West obviously not travelling the best, low on confidence, and the Warriors, it's a bit of a case of maybe stooping to the opposition's level for that one there on Friday night. It was, I mean,
14th versus 17th, was it? I think at the time.
Going into the game, it was, exactly right, 14th, 17th, and certainly looked like it for good stages of that game. So, from the Tigers' point of view, they'll be hoping to at least take the confidence out of that they broke the streak of conceding 40. There was some good periods of particularly goal line defence where you were hanging on, scrambling quite well.
A couple of sets we were able to hold out, but
a little bit too much pressure. It did tell the difference in the end. I think.
A couple of very very soft tries in there as well, which is hard to see. And Lots of actually silly decisions where you're playing the wrong pass and you're trying to play something too early or whatever it is. There's multiple occasions where we've gone out and made the wrong decision and it's cost us in that one. So I think plenty of people going out there and blaming Benji and things like that. We can't tackle. That's one thing. We miss so many tackles week in, week out. We can't tackle, and we can't seem to score a try really.
Yeah, I think it's tough when everything seems to go through Galvin, particularly when
that bloke behind us was giving him an earful.
Oh, that dude was fucking nuts.
And his mate, it was his mate, wasn't it, next to him that was cheering him on. Galvin, get off! Good on you, Lockie. Galvin,
that dude,
shit. Get on you, Galvin.
That dude, I don't know,
or was it the same bloke? Was he maybe like a little bit off? I didn't really turn around and look. I wasn't really looking at too many people by that stage in the game, but it could have been one bloke.
Yeah, it was certainly I don't think it was the one bloke. It was
two
very.
He might have been chucking a voice on,
contradictory. Not even the voices. Like, it was just two clashy messages.
But he'd go and then he'd back him up, and then he'd rip him, and then he'd back him up.
Yeah, well, I suppose old mate didn't want to see poor Lockie getting ripped on. It's like, like he might be in a bad, a fairly average footy team for NRL standards, but can't think there's too many blokes that would be as good as in their respective fields as what Lockie is at 18.
Yeah.
So probably not the right tiger to rip on. I don't know. Just seemed like a strange one for me as well while I was thinking of it.
He didn't yell at James Sullivan when he walked past. That could have been maybe more of a
Well, Bud might have fucking run up into the stands and given him some.
Good, quite nice being that close to the action,
to the tunnel and stuff.
Just
in the Mendes
I like being on that side. Yeah, that's quite good, but quite good just being down a bit more close to the action. You kind of feel like you're at the game rather than watching the game, if that makes sense. You're high up in the stadium. Sometimes it feels like the game's a world away, whereas when you're there and you're a bit more involved, I think. So I think Mount Smart's quite good for that. You've got a bit of action down there at ground level. It was.
I saw a few players walk past actually. Well, at least Bud twice.
Bud walked past.
Tohu
Harris, Heath Mason walked past with Jordan Miller. A couple more of the Magpies boys went past. I'm sure there was probably a couple of the Warriors juniors as well that went through. But no, 2 out of 10. Mount Smart always got a good atmosphere. It's especially when it's a sellout.
Definitely wasn't as loud as what we've come to witness.
I still think best atmosphere at a game that I've seen at a Warriors game would have been the first game back.
Yeah.
And the game in Hamilton equal.
The best game
Hamilton was unreal.
The best atmosphere I've ever been to at Mount Smart has 100% the Tonga New Zealand test.
Oh yeah,
that was so good. The whole crowd was singing.
I forgot about that. That was very good.
Even though Tonga were getting
the best part of that game was possibly like the walk to and from the stadium in the car.
Yeah, just
all the tooting and the cars with the flags and. It's got a vibe about it. It's got an aura, Mount Smart. As much as it was a 2 out of 10, it was still a bit of a spectacle, and not often, a bit of a seat debacle as well. That chick was pretty adamant that she was in the right spot, and we'll just wait till my boyfriend gets back, we'll make sure we're in the right spot. And then he came. She was right though. It was a bit weird for it to be row A, B, and C, and there be no row A.
Well, there was row A. I just don't think it had like seats where we were.
Where we were,
like further along.
Okay. Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure the stand would like because it's like a athletics.
Yeah,
track,
well, it comes
right?
in because there was the thing there anyway. So
I don't know. I don't know if that even makes sense.
There was that fella with his 2 kids who said he just came in and they were like sitting on the floor at the bottom down there. Obviously,
they were just like hopping between seats,
hopping around, which is what you want to do.
They just roll in, no tickies.
No, they would have been tickies, surely, but like. Possibly just like maybe shanty seats.
GAs.
You get in there early and you just sit there and one of your kids sits in one seat. Old mate sat there in the seat.
That's where you want to be if you're, 3 foot tall.
Yeah.
In the front row.
Front row. So
you don't want any bloke in front of you.
You can't stand along that thing there. You can't stand on the side and watch the game from there. Because that's what I was keen to do. Go and stand behind the Tigers lads and fucking give them a fucking... no, boys, fucking, when you get on there, fucking score a try, mate, like, that sort of stuff, but no loitering to be had.
They had old mate, red badge mates.
Yeah, they had the same dude that we saw last time.
There was a dude that was like 5'5".
The skinny guy in front of us.
60 kilos, ran wet. Like,
the skinny guy in front of us.
Jack shit to anyone unless he was like martial arts.
He might have ran 100 metres in like 10.3. Something like that.
Yeah, just makes the holds the streaker up for the big boys to come in and make the big contact.
Like sprints up.
First contact.
Gets up and then gets ahead of him so that like...
Maybe he's just their sheepdog. Just... runs around the outside and fucking rallies the
troops in behind him.
Who knows? But I guess back to
it's an atmosphere there.
Mount
Smart. But so is Leichhardt.
Leichhardt this week.
It's got a vibe about it as well. So
on a Thursday night, hopefully some decent weather.
Thursday night, that's the rough one.
Pack the joint out though. That's what they say. Get the suburban footy going so that we can rock up to our local and rather than having to make the big trip out to Homebush or Bank West or Combank, whatever it's fucking called these days, stadium.
I believe we're rocking 3 stadiums next year rather than 6 or whatever we've
just Campbelltown, Leichhardt,
yeah, possibly actually
Combank.
maybe just the 2. We might not be having Combank hopefully. Which would be very ideal.
But yeah, fingers crossed it does pack out Thursday night there with some decent weather. It definitely seems to give the Tigers an extra leg. In most of those Leichhardt games they have managed to get up. The only one recently I can think that you haven't won was the Melbourne game. But even that was a 12-point loss.
Yeah, that was a little
with a Cinnamon thrown in there. So take that with a grain of salt. But I guess a close one against the table-topping Melbourne Storm. Not too bad in the recent Leichhardt record. A little bit of player movement over in the Tigers camp. Obviously, didn't get to touch on it last week. I think we might have missed it by about an hour or 2, but Johnny Bateman, he'll be back in the UK by now, lining up for Sammy Burgess's Warrington.
Yep, off to Warrington on a loan. Still has a couple more years left on his contract. I don't think he comes back in.
That's what everyone's saying. I think everyone's saying it's he goes over there, which. To be fair, I've also heard because if he requests the release or chooses to stay over there or however it goes down, it's better for you guys in terms of salary cap compared to you fucking him off. So if he can get in Sammy Burgess is there to take up the rest of your contract or work out some sort of release, it could work out quite well for Tigers fans because it was a pretty exciting signing beginning of the year there, but definitely hasn't come to fruition, you'd say. Certainly hasn't shown the form we saw down in Canberra, but a weird one really. Can't say we've ever seen much like it before. Go on a little loan to towards the end of the year.
Yeah, it's a
where
weird.
you don't have any wiggle room to bring any players in to replace him.
Oh, I mean,
free salary cap.
I'm quite happy with it, to be fair, because he hasn't really been pulling his weight. But then there's other players as well that I'd happily ship on for now. David Clement back into the side this week. I'd happily let him go. He's on 600k. That's a fair chunk of money there. There's three or four players I'd like to bring in, or areas I'd like to strengthen in, so and to top it all off, we've 100% lost Steph now. It's fully confirmed.
Yeah, it's disappointing. Obviously, most West fans have been dreading it over the past few months. The rumours have been swirling, but yeah, he's announced it. He'll be lining up for another club come next year. Whether that ends up being Melbourne or Doggies, by the looks of things, the two front runners there.
Not back to para.
Don't know if. Why the fuck would you He wants to leave to win a comp.
You're not going to go back to
obvious. I don't think you're going to go back to Parramatta to go and start with Ralsey's rebuild over there, or however they go about things. But yeah, I don't know how Melbourne fit him into that cap.
It's a tough one.
Can manage to move Big Nelson on, and by the sounds of things, Big Nelson's not keen on the swap, and neither is Benji. Benji doesn't want Big Nelson coming in on I think like 850k.
It's a big chunk,
It's a huge amount of money for a bloke that doesn't play 80 minutes.
Yeah, 100%. So I don't know if I'd really want him coming in on that much money either.
Yeah.
It's probably not the smartest of moves when you've got Clemmer sitting there also on 600k.
But it does leave you a significant, couple of milli on top of what you're spending on Luai and everything else to play with, to see if you can, as we saw today,
I'm told that'd be really tasty.
Yeah, pry Bizza out of Penrith to join his good mate Romy. So while it does sound extremely bizarre at the moment, there are things that do make it make sense. But I suppose there's also, when you're looking at
I don't know if I really want to win. Imagine you go on to win the premiership in like 3 or 4 years, and you've got 9 players that have won a grand final for Penrith playing for the Tigers. It'd be hectic.
It would be hectic.
But I'd would I take it? Yeah, I guess you'd have to. But it'd be a near amalgamation, I guess. But it's going to be a tough one regardless. I think this one here Thursday night.
Yeah, officially a rivalry according to the NRL. Research that we did a couple of years ago.
Most likely because of that grand final.
That's got to be the only story. Maybe also the fact that, particularly in recent years, you've had that, 66
to 6. That was the
74-0 the other way around in the reverse fixture that year, and what was it? Was it 28-26 when they won with the dodgy penalty, or like
28-26 I think it was, yeah.
Or maybe like 28-27, or like something like you'd just kicked the field goal and then they did a short kick off, and then
that's right, actually 28-27. I do remember
the ref called time, but then like Bunker came in and gave it
that frit out. We got that was
definitely a bit of a frit out. But as you mentioned, Clemmer's coming back into the side, interestingly for Pole, so I don't know if he's
injured.
Is he?
Yeah.
Didn't see that. So I guess that makes a bit more sense. But you've also got Alo Malo in for Laulili.
Yep, he's come back from injury as well.
Laulili suffering that hip knock on Friday night, unable to recover there, and Justin Olam comes in, which is good.
Finally, yeah. I don't know why he hasn't been involved.
He's been injured as well.
Yeah, but I think he's been fit for last week, I'm pretty sure.
Right, maybe. Stafford Tyler's a really good player. I mean, obviously Justin Olam has been making a very big difference.
One of our best players, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think a player that will hopefully, have a pretty big impact there come Thursday night as well.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. That's for sure.
I've gone pretty full ball vibe in terms of my pick for the week as well. Purely based off this that last big demolition job the last time we met there at Leichhardt.
I like it. Huge win on I guess that one was Brooksy's 200 there, 66-6. Only twice the Cowboys have managed to pick up the win at Leichhardt in their history, so it is a bit of a fortress in the old rivalry, you'd say, for the Tigers. So 5 apiece in the last 10, split evenly down the middle.
It's not too bad.
It's very heavily weighted in recent years towards the Cowboys. I think they might have won 4 of the last 5, apart from that demolition job. So Tigers will be hoping for another outlier, considering they're also coming off 5 straight losses coming into this one, having won your previous 2 before that. So Cowboys coming in 4 wins from their last 5, as you said, coming into a bit of form, looking to cement a solid final spot, if not top 4, if a few things can go their way. But fingers crossed for your sake, for our sake. Tigers can get up on a Thursday night.
Yeah,
like that.
Ideal situations. I'm going big. There's no reason why I can see anything, but I'm going for a Tigers 13 plus. I don't often do that.
Paying about $7.50.
They are. I've chucked Juzzy Olam in there to get himself a try as well. What did that come out at? I want to say something around the
12 and 13s.
Higher than that. I think it was you're looking at about $30.
$30. Tigers 13 plus into Olam.
No, 15.73. 15.73. I must have been thinking of putting $2 on it.
Yeah,
so that's the way I'm looking at it for this one here.
Coming in confident, brash, brazen, however you want to call it. I like it regardless. You always got to back your team, always got to back your lads. No point turning up, no point staying up till 10 o'clock to watch the boys play if you don't think they're going to pull off a win. So good on you. I've tried to keep the result out of it so as to avoid the outlier stinging me. I've just gone for 3 try scorers. Juzzy Olam also. I've gone for Lavelle Holmes, a man who might see himself in the red and white next year, if rumours are to be believed, and Fine Fuiaki just to beef up the value to $30.62.
Yeah, I like the look of that one there. Hopefully the only 2 tries there that the Cows are dotting over for. Your lads get out there, what are we, Saturday, second game, heading off to Melbourne. And last week was not off to Melbourne.
No, it's in the Gong. No, it is in Melbourne.
It is in Melbourne.
No, it was Penrith in the Gong, and then Melbourne, Amy Park.
Thought Penrith was a tricky one to get through last week. Gets a little bit. Doesn't get any easier if you put it that way. 2 very tough fixtures back to back
Yeah, 100%. You're coming up against probably what will be two grand finalists come the end of the year, or come October, so last week of September there. I don't know exact date of the grand final. Isn't it my birthday this year? When is my birthday? I don't think my birthday is a Sunday. Nah, it'll be the day before. It was 29th there, I reckon. But yeah, I reckon it will be Melbourne and Penrith, so huge one this week. Melbourne coming off that win over Parramatta, weren't looking the best though. Obviously 32-14 is a very handsome scoreline in their favour, but yeah, Parramatta looked to be certainly in the fight for most of that game.
They definitely started off alright from what I heard.
Around half time they got a sin bin. Just before half time.
I listened to the first half an hour. Yeah, I might have just caught that before I got home. There on the radio.
Half time.
I might have just missed the start, and then maybe half an hour, 35 minutes. So I think I might have just caught the sin binning.
Pretty sure Melbourne didn't have a play the ball in the Parramatta 20 until like the 50th minute, but Jesus. They were ahead like 14.
That's crazy,
or whatever it was. But yeah, impressive again for Melbourne to pick up a solid win, while at the same time not playing well, and the Dragons, yeah, definitely can't make too many excuses for that one. It was a shocking performance from our lads. Penrith were very good, obviously led by the Prince, Nathan Cleary, but a little bit of a theme for the Dragons this year. When we do get beaten, we get well beaten.
Yeah.
Like, we get pounded. Teams rack up a high 30 or a 40 on us, and we seem to get stuck in the mud a little bit. You know, you got Ben Hunt kicking the ball out on the full 3 times.
Bit of a Nico Hines
you don't really get
situation
like,
early in the year. It was, wasn't it?
I don't think I remember seeing him kick the ball out on the full 3 times in a season over the last 3 or 4 years, let alone in one game. So yeah, it is a bit of a Nico Hines at Leichhardt sort of similarities there. Obviously a little bit of don't want to say mix up at the back, but Sloaney being dropped late there to reserve grade.
A little bit of rotation, a little bit of movement.
Yeah, Fino comes in,
change.
Lasts about 40 minutes before he has to be ruled out for an HIA, which was unfortunate. Zach Lomax got a bit of time back there, but yeah, probably not the team you want to be trialling too many things out against. So yeah,
doesn't really put you in good stead there for this.
Yeah, we can't seem to handle it against the top 4 sides.
It's a tough ask. Yeah, you're right. Up against those big teams, you obviously they're or thereabouts in that battle to sneak off with a little bit of playoffs, a little bit of finals footy. But yeah, these 2 games back to back, it's a tough little corner of fixtures here for you.
100%. Yeah. Yeah, not looking very pretty when I look into the record for this one either. 7 of the last 10 for Melbourne overall, and then 3 for the Dragons, but haven't won over Melbourne since 2020.
Yes,
and we've never won at Amy Park.
Never.
And six attempts, never picked up a win there.
Wow.
So they have had other home grounds over the years.
Yep.
Olympic Park and can't remember what else, but yeah, ominous signs for the Dragons. But yeah, I suppose the records are there to
records are there to be broken. That's definitely the way to look at it.
You know, some big team list news on the other side. Cam Munster obviously comes back into start after getting through his little bench cameo unscathed, which shuffles Tyron Wishart into the 14 jumper.
We were wondering what was going to happen when he came back.
Yeah, Fa'alonga onto the 18th man role for this week. So who knows to see how that whether or not that changes up come game day and we see Melbourne carry 2 backs on the bench. It's probably not something you see too often in a rugby league team, but
no, it's not the norm, is it? Running with 2 backs there, but for a player of his calibre and what he can do, a bit of a game changer. You know, it's otherwise they're gonna struggle to keep hold of all of them. I think. You know, they're gonna struggle to keep everyone happy in a scenario like that. So maybe whether you see Wishart, Fa'alonga being shopped around, you know, to other teams. I'm sure there'd be plenty of teams that would happily take either of those players.
Yeah, it's a tough one for Melbourne though, because like you say, Pappenhausen is very, very injury prone as well. So Fa'alonga probably one you wanna keep around just to see how that plays out over the next couple of years. You never know. A 23-year-old Fa'alonga coming up against is Pat our age or is he a little bit younger?
Might be a little bit younger, I think.
You know, he comes up against like a 28, 29-year-old Pap in 3 years that's coming off 3 broken ankles and whatever else he's suffered, which is unfortunate. But yeah, everyone's back fit, firing for Melbourne. I was going to say not ideal for the Dragons, but ideal for the Storm, I guess, in that run into finals. Dragons, a little bit of team news. Sloan is back in due to Fane being ruled out with that head knock. Laurie back into the side for an injured Murdoch Masilla, and then you're just swapping one of the Couchman twins in for another.
Yep.
But yeah, you said in the finals picture, but we've got a tough ask to get there. 13 wins is probably that magic number. Everyone's saying will guarantee you a spot sort of towards the bottom of the 8 there. I reckon we'll definitely need it. Sitting at about negative 90 points difference. Everyone else is looking very pretty apart from Canberra. That's pretty similar. Maybe a little bit better, and Newcastle, who might be a little bit worse. So yeah, we'll need 4 wins from this one. The Dogs, Gold Coast, Cronulla, Parramatta, and Canberra.
Titans.
So you'd probably like to say, based on season form and ladder position, you'd probably like to bank that Gold Coast and Parramatta game at least.
Yeah, I think you beat Canberra as well.
And then you're looking at 2 really tough games with the Dogs. Obviously at home for the Dragons, so you're going up against that Dogs away record, which is always in our favour. Cronulla, you don't really know what you're going to get. Falling off. But if they can string a few moves together like they did against the Tigers and get on a roll early, they could get a headwind up and it could turn ugly for us. But yeah, you're right, Canberra, you'd like to think we can pull it off, but that's the last game of the season, so that one could actually almost be like a
what it could all come down to
final game there. So fingers crossed.
It's the same as us. We've got Para last game of the season, so that's the spoon battle. So there'll be
that one could be huge.
There's a couple of really tasty looking fixtures, I think.
Especially if you both just lose till then, because it will be literally. You'll be 2 points ahead of them.
Well, we get that bye and we'll go equal with them because we're
you're 2 points behind, so you'll go equal. So if you win, you go ahead. Doesn't matter on points difference, but yeah, interesting. But yeah, fingers crossed we can pull a miracle out of the bag, so we don't have to go 4 from the next 5 after that. But I'm somehow thinking that we're going to have to.
I think that's possibly the way it looks. So,
but yeah. Definitely taking it. never gonna tip your own team for the spoon, but things were looking bleak at the start of the year. Obviously had that confidence that Flano was going to be able to turn it around, but didn't think it would happen this quickly. But still plenty of work to go, obviously. But as always, I'm going Dragons 13 plus. Need to check what that's paying.
I haven't gone for the result this week. I've gone for the old hat trick. And I've gone for Anderson there to give himself a hat trick. I believe he got himself a couple of tries there. Oh, it's my phone. Sorry, I thought that was your phone you were using.
Yeah.
What is it? Dragons 13 plus. What's your predictions?
I'm saying
I'm gonna say like an 880.
Yeah, I was gonna say like 790, 750 maybe.
NRL Dragons.
It's probably close to double digits.
It possibly is by the looks of that. Oh wow, yeah, $19 for Dragons.
Juicy.
$19 for Dragons to win, 13 plus, and I believe my Grant Anderson hat trick's paying $8.50. So they're your two games to watch out for this weekend. Been a little bit of movement in the old Arsenal world over the last firstly over the last 24 hours we've had some signing news. Caliafori is now official. He's taken the number 33 jersey. We've seen him there in training. Left-sided defender there, so we saw what he was able to do at the Euros. So it'll be interesting to see what he can do in an Arsenal shirt.
Yeah, I think most Arsenal fans are pretty happy with the signing. Promising young defender that, as you said, he's already managed to do some good things with Italy and. Comes in from Bologna.
Yep.
Bologna. So he's done some good things for them over the last couple of years, earned himself this big move to the Arse, so fingers crossed that it all goes well for him. Interesting to see how our back four shapes up with him, Gabriel, Saliba, Timber, Kiwior.
I'm thinking you're looking at like a Timber, Gabriel, Saliba.
Timber plays wing back, and of course Ben White previously converted from a central defender into sort of a right back there. Mikel's obviously plotting and scheming away. I've come to learn to be smarter than to doubt his judgments.
Yeah.
Certainly been some calls over the last couple of years you might have raised an eyebrow at, but most of them have tend to hit. Your Jorginho spending big money on Declan Rice, although that one was probably a bit more guaranteed. Probably played even better than what most Arsenal fans are also expecting. So plenty of other examples, obviously Trossard in there as well, and lots of good little transfer deals Arsenal have got done over the last couple of years. So fingers crossed it's another. Plenty of other names that we've been linked with. I'm not sure how solid any of the rumours are, just sort of been scanning through the old gossip column.
I've seen a few sort of what looks like reliable things in Mikel Merino. There's been a bit of talks with. I don't think anyone's going to be anyone's getting Nico Williams. I don't know if he'd leave. Well, if they do, I don't think he'd leave Spain. Somehow I don't see him going anywhere. I know that Chelsea have been linked with him as well. Julian Alvarez I hadn't seen. That's an interesting one. Fabian Ruiz. I have seen some things about that, and Gyökeres we seem to have been linked with for about a year or so now. But I think there's been plenty of talk. Whether or not we go out there and splash the cash to bring someone else in, Obviously lots of talk about needing a striker to score some goals, which would be good. Whether or not we see Jesus given the trust to be the one to go out there and do that this year, I don't know if he's the man to get us that 20 goals or so.
Yeah, it's strange. We've got two really good forwards in Jesus and Havertz
as well, yeah.
But definitely not two of the most natural goal scorers.
No, not at all.
So interesting to see how Arteta navigates that situation. I've also seen a little bit of heartbreaking news for particularly Arsenal fans over the last few years. I've seen him sort of burst onto the scene, and then injuries have robbed him of being able to kick on from there. But Smith Rowe has agreed terms with Fulham. I think pending a medical later on in the week, once he...
Was it 27 mil, I think it is, with possibility of 7 million in add-ons, I think. So it's a decent chunk of money. It's Fulham's highest ever transfer fee that they'll pay.
Yep.
It's broken that record. So it's a little bit sad, but good on him. I hope he goes there and gets a good crack, Yeah,
as long as he doesn't score too many winning goals against Arsenal, I'll be happy for him. Good to see him go and get some more regular game time. Maybe kick on and earn himself a few more England caps.
Yep.
But yeah, hell of a player. Just robbed of a chance to sort of continue that rise with the team over the last couple of years with a few injuries, which is a little bit heartbreaking. But I think pretty much everyone is checked back in for pre-season by now. I think we're just sort of waiting on those lads from the Euros final to be integrated back into match day lineups.
Yep.
But I've seen Saka's in and around the squad, so it won't be long until we see him lining up. Not sure about Ramsdale and Rice, whether they're in America yet or whether they've got a little bit of an extended break. And David Raya as well, obviously.
We've seen Hine obviously playing the last two games there. A win over Bournemouth and a win over United. He seems to be one of the I guess more seasoned pre-season players now for Arsenal. He's been here for a couple of years going on these tours, but we've also seen another few of these young players, Aiden Heaven making his debut there at centre-back. We've seen Rekic involved there and a few of those games. So a few of those young fellas who have been sent on this pre-season tour are getting a chance to go out and make a name for themselves. Nwaneri with a lovely assist there for Jesus, and I think that was the United game, that one there. The equaliser. So it's pre-season always, you can't go too much off it. I remember there was that season there, what might have been 2012, 2011. Yaya Sanogo 4 goals against Ajax in a pre-season, and everyone thought this is the man to go on and win us the league, and we know what happened there. So I think there's still a bit of work, but another couple of signings would be nice to see before we get cracking with the start of the season in about a month's time.
Yeah, not long now to go, that's for sure. So yeah, fingers crossed we can see a few more big names come through the door. We probably will also see another couple on the way out in order to finance those. But I guess that is one positive of letting go Smith Rowe, is it's 100% profit booked against the old FFP, so we can put that money directly back in the squad, which is good to see. But I guess end of July now, we're probably through what is normally the worst month on the football calendar into August.
It starts to get more positive.
Your more meaningful pre-season games, your start of your season, and most importantly, deadline day come the end of August, which is always exciting. But
possibly a bit of Community Shield, Copa Europa, that sort of
action. Yeah, all those meaningful more meaningful pre-season games.
We're nearly back underway.
Yeah, I'd say less than a month, probably 3 weeks.
It would be the sort of as you're kicking into that last week of August there. Another transfer here or there would be nice. Before we do get underway in 3-4 weeks time.
Yeah.
The old darting world has been a little bit quiet over the last weekend. There's been a few development tours events, but I believe a week off for the fellas there on the PDC circuit. They head down under come this Friday, I believe, off to Aussie first of all. Or it might be next week off to Wollongong. Ben Robb, I believe, Mark Cleaver, Ben Robb and John Hurring, I believe, are the Kiwi representatives there, and I assume I looked at the article today. 2024 Australian Darts Masters confirmed. Whitlock, Hopai, Puha. So no Ben Robb. It's just Hopes and John Hurring, and the rest are Australian representatives. And then the New Zealand one, we see Hopes, Ben Robb, Johnny Tata, Daniel Snooks, who I've played. I think he was the second person I ever played at Burko. He's in along, and someone else.
Caden Melbourne?
No Caden Melbourne this time, I don't think. Didn't qualify this time around. So that'll be the following week. But there's also been a little bit of Olympic action, but it's not really been cracking along too much yet for the Kiwis.
Nah, no national glory to speak of as of yet.
No medals just yet. We've had a couple of close calls. We've had a sixth in the swimming there. Claire Burt. I think we've had another sixth. Erica Fairweather possibly in a final there. I believe we've got a little bit of medal hopes this evening here, however you want to look at it. The sevens, the women's sevens, we've got a semi-final there. And then also, I think we might have another couple of people from winning their heats or having good heats into their finals, maybe also in the pool. I'm not too sure who exactly.
In the pool? Yeah, okay.
Maybe out on the
and we haven't won a swimming medal for 24 years or something,
Yeah, that Clarebert went one at the Commonwealth the last time around, so I know that he was a hopeful. Australia, I think, topping the medal table at the moment.
Australia?
I believe so.
They just at the top of the golds.
Yeah, but that's how you top a medal table. That's
US most overall medals.
Yeah, but US will have it. If you look at an American medal table, it will have America top. I'm sure last time around when they didn't get the most golds, when they didn't get the most medals, they would have had it on golds and had it there. Japan now there on 6, France, China and Australia all there with 5 as well. New Zealand are lowly 30th and below currently.
Oh yeah, dead last.
Countries like Slovakia, Mongolia, Fiji.
I'm pretty sure we're the only country not to get a medal.
Well, Fiji would have got the 7s. Not the only country to not get a medal.
Oh yeah, well there's way more than 29 countries at the Olympics, so
yeah, shit.
Well, we're the only major country left to not get a medal.
Kosovo, Mongolia, both with medals.
When you think of all the New Zealand are usually top 10.
How we compare to the world.
We're still really good per capita.
We had 20 medals at the last World Cup.
At the last Olympics.
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, but once you get the rowing and sailing and kayaking and that stuff involved, surely we'd get a few more medals in there.
Is that maybe actually all the countries? Surely not. How many countries? There's got to be more than fucking 30. How many
countries at Paris 20?
Countries are competing? Why'd that just go? How many countries are competing? I was going to say, yeah, Jesus Christ, there's more than 30.
206 countries. Is that every single country?
Yeah, and I didn't even know that there's that many countries, to be fair. I only know really of 197 as far as I'm aware in terms of countries. Do they give us a list there? That's kind of what I'm after here, a little list of countries there. Yeah, 206. That's a fair few.
It's a lot more than 30. That's for sure.
A lot more than 30. So it's not too bad.
We'll say we're 30th at the moment.
We'll say we're 30th equal. Ideally, we wake up tomorrow with a little bit of silverware hanging around the neck, but not the most fruitful of campaigns just yet. But plenty more Olympics to come. Plenty of sport to sink into this week. I was going to say it probably wraps us up for another week, unless there's anything else that we've got to tick on over with. As always, if you've made it this far, thank you for tuning in. Remember to get involved in all your socials. Give us a like, a comment, a 5-star, a bit of a subscription maybe. Enjoy your week ahead. Enjoy your Olympics. Enjoy whatever sport you're getting involved with. If you're having a punt, do it responsibly, and hopefully we'll see you here next week with a little bit of medal action to report for you.
Yeah, 100%. That's what we'll be looking forward to. So a little bit of gold hanging around our necks would be nice, but even a bit of silver and bronze, we certainly take that. Considering we're yet to even taste a bit of that.
We'll try and get off this clean sheet if we can, and hopefully be coming.
We just don't want to peak early. That's it. We've been drilling it into the Olympic team. Don't peak early.
Come in hot. Finish off with a nice slide home of goals at the end.
Fly under the radar for the first couple of weeks and come in hot in that third and final week. Bring home a few glory events if possible, a few glamour events. Unlikely, but we'll see how we go. But that's probably us for another week, so we'll see you then. Ciao.
Marshall skips away. Marshall's still going. Marshall's got Richards coming up outside. Now inside.
Arsenal have gone through an entire league campaign without losing.
Bennett and the Dragons win the grand final.
Whips that one away, and Kane Williamson and his team now world test champions.